Hi Dresser Cuties, Winnie here. Today we're going to draw Jinu from K-pop Demon Hunters. So let's get started. To draw cute Jinu, let's first start by drawing his eyes. So I'm going to start right here and we're going to draw a straight line. It's a little bit delicate, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to start with a straight line right here and then I'm going to bring it down just a little bit, head downwards. And then on this side right here, we're going to extend this out just a little bit and come downwards. So we're creating this shape. And then underneath here, towards this edge a little bit more, I'm going to draw a circle. Right about here. And then at the bottom, we're going to put in a line, soft line, and then bring this part up, so that there's a slant right here. There. So that's the shape you're aiming to draw. So come in here and just kind of thicken this part up a little bit. I know it's very subtle, but just want to thicken the top up. And then in this space right here, I'm going to add a circle right here for a highlight. And then in the center space, put another circle and then shade that part in. And then this part is where you would put in some color for Jinu's eyes. So let's do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to bring this point across to, let's see, about right here. Not too far apart, but right here. And once again, we're going to go up. So on this side, it's just easier. Since I have something to follow, I'm going to go up with this slight angle, and then we're going to go out this line and then about right here, bring it down slightly, and then once again in this space draw a circle and the highlight and the inside. There, and then at the bottom, as light as possible, just draw this line and then bring it up. There. Okay, so there. And then from there, we're going to come down and in between in the center, so let's say about right here. Just going to give Jinu a cool smile, bring it up and cap it off. Then let's see here. Then let's come to the sides, come really close to this point, and same thing here. We're going to start to frame his face. So I'm going to bring down, we're going to make his face a little bit more angular. So bring down this slant on both sides. And kind of like where the mouth is, around there, we're going to come in to create the jawline. So just kind of bring it in. Angle it in. And I'm just going to give myself a point in the center. It's kind of like how low I want his chin. So let's say about right here. I'll give myself a point. And I'm going to try my best here to aim for this area. Turn your body or the paper. And as I come here, I need to give him a chin. So I'm going to flatten this part out a little bit. And then connect. It's very subtle once again, but you just want to kind of flatten this part to make sure you give him a nice strong chin. Okay, there. Then from there, we can come back into this area. Just going to bring it up a tiny bit more. And we're going to draw his ear. So just pop out a curve and some details. And then I'll just put in a circle right here for his earrings. So same thing on the other side. Another one. I believe he has earrings on both sides. And then let's see, we need to draw his hair, his beautiful hair. So I'm just going to kind of imagine an oval. I'm going to bring it up nice and high, and so kind of towards the side. So let's say about right here. I'll give myself a point. From there, we're going to bring a strand, pop it up, come down really close to his eye, and then zigzag out. And then this side, same thing, go up, and then we're going to come down in between his eyes and draw one strand, then another one really close to his eye, go out, and then one more. There. And then in this space right here, just kind of connect it. Soft curve for his forehead. And so it's looking weird because we need to put his brow. So come up about right here, and I'm just going to draw a slight angle line and thicken it up. There, finally looks better, right? Huge difference with the brow. So whatever space about right here, same thing. Just gonna make this thicker so you don't have to draw the rest of the brow. And I'm just gonna come in here one more time, sorry, and thicken up this top curve just to anchor his eyes better. There, okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and about right here, I'm just gonna curve slightly up to about here, nice and high. And this side, we're gonna go up, pop it up, and then we're gonna come down, give a slight slant, and then pop it out, and then bring it back into his ear. And then on this side, go up higher. And then once again, same thing. We're just gonna slant it a little bit, and then about right here, go past the ear. We're just gonna bring it down, and if you like, make a little zigzag and bring it in. There for some detail. And if you like, you can draw in some of these details if you like for the hair. But hopefully you love these eyes. I just felt like I had to draw these kind of eyes instead of my Draw So Cute eyes, because it's so handsome, right? Okay, so then from there, let's draw his body. So let's find the center. And right here, we're going to give him a neck. I'm just going to make it a little bit thicker and then bring it down. For his broad shoulders, so we're going to go about right here, kind of the width of his face. So same thing here. Bring it out nice and wide. So then from there, let's see, I'm going to come down. So I'm going to bring this, so I want my shoulders about there. I'm going to bring down this line, curve for his chest. It's about right here and here. From there, let's go ahead and draw in some more details. So I'm going to come right about here on both sides, and we're just going to bring down, curve towards the center, nice and deep, about right here. And we can let's see, put in a curve right here for his shirt inside, and then we can come back in this space and draw a collar. So right here, and if you like, you can pop this part out for his collar. So same thing here. And pop this part out right there. And then he does have a necklace if you want to draw that. Right there for his necklace. And then let's see, let's bring this down, just kind of wobble a little bit, and then keep going down on this side. So let's see here, let's bring it down a little bit more. But right in this area right here, we're going to stop, and I'm just going to draw a little line right there, just so I know where his belt is going to be in his waist. So then I'm going to bring this out just a tiny bit, and let's come back right here, and I'm just going to kind of wobble a little bit because his shirt's kind of tucked in, and this side's just going to wobble down just to break it up, and then come right here, and we're going to curve and connect his shirt. So same thing here, just curve this down and connect. So just kind of drawing these two hook areas, and then in this space that you've created, come about right here, I'm going to draw his belt. So the center, there's some loops right here, and then find your center once again and say about right here. I'm just going to draw a slanted line, and this is where his legs are going to start, and then right here. There. So we just want to make it look like his shirt's inside. And before I forget, let's put in some buttons right there. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to work on this side first. And I'm just going to keep going down, straight down, but much thinner as we come down to his ankle area. Say about there. And then towards the bottom right here, I'm just going to wobble a little bit for his jeans. And then I'm going to cut them off at a slant. And then right here, start his shoes. So draw a curve. And then we're going to bring this down, pop it out, and connect. There. And then for some details, his sole right here, and then some laces there. Okay, so same exact thing on the other side. Wobble a little bit about here. There for his other shoe. Okay, and then for some details right here, I'm going to find the center, draw a straight line down, then some jean detail right there, his pockets. And before I forget, kind of like where his knee is about right here, just going to draw a rip. I think he has it on both sides, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and draw on both sides. There. And then now we can finally draw his shoulders. So let's bring this down, and I'm just going to have his arms to the side. So let's come down, and they're folded up. So kind of imagine where his elbow is where you're going to stop this. So say about right here, I'm just going to wobble a little bit, and then here, cut it off, wobble, and cut it off. There. And then we're going to come down. So I want his hands about right here, right there, and just thicken it up to the wrist, and then come here for his fingers. Round and up and in. There. So same thing on the other side. Just going to drag some points across, just so kind of know where the other side is. Right there. And same thing, just keep going. And just going to drag this across so I know approximately where his fingers should start. and connect. There. Okay, and then when you're coloring, just put in these light, let me like a light gray to create this plaid pattern on his shirt here. But I'm gonna add a heart right here because Jinu's all about giving hearts, right? And that is pretty much it for my drawing here of the leader of the Saja Boys from the K-pop Demon Hunters. I really hope you love how he turned out and that I helped you draw him fun and easy today. And if I did... Hi Dresser Cuties, Winnie here, tutoring draw mystery from the K-pop Demon Hunters. So let's get started. To draw a cute mystery, let's first start by drawing his hair. So I'm going to start in the center, and I'm just going to start with a strand coming down. So let's say about right here. Let's go ahead and curve out, and then come back in. And then I'm going to work on this side. So we're going to come about here, close to that strand. And everything is, we're aiming to draw at the same level going across. So I'm going to bring it down, go out nice and wide, come back up, back, just kind of zigzag some strands in this area. So then on this side, we want to do the same thing, also ending about the same height. So about right here, I'm going to come out. And once again, just zigzag my way up. There. So I just kind of want this strand to be right in the center. That's my goal. And then from there, now that we have this, I'm going to go ahead and give him a smile. So right underneath this, right in the center, I'm just going to find my center area about right here. And I'll just go ahead and draw a smile. Just curve and bring it up slightly. And cap it off, just so I know where my center is. Then from there, I'm going to come to the sides. And just remember, I have to keep saying that, but this is my center. So this is the tricky part, is where you're going to need to start his face. So I'm going to pick a point, say about right here. Just give myself a point. So then the other side would need to be about right here for that smile to be right in the center again. So then right here, we're going to draw a slight angle line, kind of like where his jaw would end for his face. And then we're going to bring it down towards the center. I'm going to angle this. So I think this is like the trickiest part. Find your center, and let's say about right here. I'll give myself a point, and I'm just going to aim towards that point for his chin. So same thing here. Okay, there. The hardest part is done. Just to get that in there. Then from there, I'm going to come right underneath, and I'm going to curve just a little indication of his ear. Just kind of tuck it in there. And the reason we need to draw his ears is because I think it's very important that we give him these earrings right here. And I'll just put a dot or some. So this long triangle right there. And then we can go ahead and finish his hair. So I'm going to come about right here, past where his jaw would be. So I'm going to come out about right here and here. And we're going to go up. So we're going to come out. Same thing on this side. Come out. Just a little bit past. Not too much. So about right here. I'm going to start to round it off to go back in. So let's go up, nice and round right here, and then go up. It's all about his hair for mystery. So about right here, his hair is going to be parted on the side. So about right here, I'm going to start to come down. So just take a look, see how high you need to go to give him nice full hair. And then right about here, I'm going to pop this out lower and connect it to finish it off. There. And then in this area, if you like, you can just draw in some strands lightly for some detail. And so then I'm going to go ahead and finish off, just bring it up a little bit more for some detail. This part is just meant to inspire you. It doesn't mind, your strands don't have to be exactly like this, but the goal is to have the center and then strands coming out from the sides on both sides. Okay, there, all done. So then we'll draw the rest of his hair later. Let's draw his body first. I'm going to come right down here and give him a neck right in the center, curve and come out. And I'm going to come out and go out nice and wide. So I'm going to come down, kind of past his face, past his ear a little bit to about right here. And I'm going to stop. So same thing on the other side. Come out past his ear and come out about right there. Same thing on both sides. Then we're going to come in. So this is kind of a vest thing that he's wearing. So we're going to come bring this in, kind of like where his armpit would be, about right there. And now that I'm pretty even on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and come down with an angle line to draw his torso. So we're going to bring this down and keep going a little bit more. Let's say about right there. I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with a curve going up there. And then I'm going to come back really quickly for some detail right here. You give a curve for his, kind of like a little turtleneck inside that he's wearing, and then some detail right about here. I'm going to bring a curve coming down towards the center, go back up and thicken it up. There. Okay, and then we're going to come back down here and I'm going to come right back into this area and just draw a soft curve going across. This is where his pants are going to start, and then we're going to pop it out right here. We're going to start his legs. So then using that as my guide, I'm going to come down, say about, actually, you know what, let's come down about right here, sorry. Okay, and then we're going to start his legs. And then bring this down. I have to bring it down a little bit lower because he has a waist where the band on his pants are. So about right there. We're going to keep going. So I'm going to work on this leg first. To about right there. Sorry for all these sketchy marks. Kind of have to do that when with a Sharpie because I have to make sure I know where I'm going. So it's a little bit easier if I kind of sketch out the line rather than just going for it. So about right there, I'm going to stop and cut it off. Then I'm going to come down, show a little bit of his ankle, and then cut it off with a curve. Then we're going to come down for the sides of his shoe. I'm going to curve this out and bring it right back. There. So same thing on the other side. So this side is a little bit easier because I can just kind of follow what I drew on the other side. From there, I'm going to come back into this area and draw in some details for the shoe. So the sole, and then draw a curve right about here, and then 2 curves for some lace detail, just to simplify it. Same thing over here. There. And almost forgot, I'm going to come back into this area about right here, and there's a cutout on this knee. And then his pants right here is this band. And the center button for his jeans, and then straight down. Just drawing these little details and the pocket. There. Okay, so then now that we have that, we have to draw his arms. So I'm going to come back into this area right here and curve out to about right there. We want his hands to be about in this area, so I'm going to bring this down. Imagine his shoulders, thicken it up, and about right there. I'm going to cut it off because he's wearing these gloves. So I continue down to his side. And then about right here, I'm going to start his fingers. And curve in and back. And then they're cut out, the fingers show, so right about here and here, I'll add in a curve. So let's do the same thing on the other side. So I just want to make sure I'm at about the same area. And same thing here. Thicken up his arms. Cut this part off for his gloves. And then continue to right about here for his thumb. And then go around for his fingers. There. And once again, just draw a curve going through. And then, of course, we need to finish his hair. So let's come back about right here where the earring is, and just kind of come out whatever space I have left. And zigzag, and same thing here. And maybe just some lines for some detail. And last thing, I'm just going to add a heart, so I'm going to put one here lightly. To make this my Draw So Cute mystery Saja from the K-pop Demon Hunters. I really hope I helped you draw him fun and easy today, and if I did, please make sure to give me a like. Hi Draw So Cuties, Winnie here, to learn Draw Romance from the K-pop Demon Hunters. So let's get started. To draw a cute romance, let's first start by drawing his eyes. So let's start right here with a line. Kind of going down a little bit, I guess, about right here. And then I'm going to angle it in. And then from there, let's see here. I'm going to come back into this area at the bottom right here and draw 2 curves right before it slants in. And then underneath it, we're going to just lightly put in a line for now. So then let's come back in here. We're going to draw a circle for highlight, and then inside, another circle that we're going to shade in. And then this is where you would color his eyes. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So using this as my guide, I'm going to come across, let's see here, let's say about right here. Give myself a point, and we're going to do the same thing. So just angle up and then go across. There, just slightly, just slant upwards a little bit. And then once again, come back into this area, draw 2 curves, and then underneath, slightly draw a line. And then once again, a highlight and the inside. Okay, so the reason we're drawing like this is because he has all this hair that's kind of covering his face right on the sides. So I just have to kind of put the eyes in first. So then I'm going to use this as my guide. Come up and about right here, I'm going to draw his brow. Just very slightly go upwards. And I'm just going to bring it down about right here. Sticking it up. And so same thing on the other side, about right here. Just slightly go upwards and come down. For his brow. And then let's come back down to say about right here. Just give him a smile. And cap it off. And I'll come back in for the details for eyes because we need to draw his hair. So now that we kind of tentatively have this all in, I'm going to find my center. I'm going to go up, say about right here, kind of like where his hairline would start. And we're going to go up. Kind of has his widow's peak. So we're going to go up. And then we're going to come down towards his brow. Right there. So same thing here. Go up. And then bring a curve down towards the brow area. Then, right about here is where we're going to start to cut it in to draw the bangs. So right here, everything just kind of comes in. We're going to start one strand, and then another one that comes in again, and so same thing over here. Okay, there. So now that we have that in, the most important, hardest part is this one. Now we can go in and finish his eyes. So I'm just gonna, in this space, extend his eyes, wherever space I have left, and I'm gonna thicken this line up and then bring this up slightly, and same thing here. There, okay. It's always so delicate because it's small. And then let's see here, now that we have that in, just gonna come in and thicken the top line up a little bit more. Then we can go ahead and come back into this area, kind of like where his jaw would be. So I'll say about right here, and where his eye, where you put his face, so about right here. And I'm going to just draw a slight angle line down on both sides. Then I'm going to start to angle it in. And then before I finish, I'm going to find my center, come down to say about right here, kind of like where I want his chin. And I'll aim towards that point. Kind of straighten it out a little bit for a chin, and then up. There, okay. So now that I have that, we can go ahead and come back up here, and we're going to go up nice and high, come down to connect back to here. Same thing on this side, go up and connect to there. So now it's all starting to come together, right? So I'm going to go ahead and thicken up this strand. And same thing here. let's see, we can come back up. Center lines where his hair parts, so center, and we're going to go up on both sides. So before we do that, let's come back into this area and kind of where his ear would be. I'm going to come right about here and just draw a curve. So on this side, what can fit in his ear, just a little indication of his ear. And the reason is because we need to draw this earring that he has. So I'm just going to dangle this, put a point, and same thing here. There, I just felt that earring was important, so try to sneak it in there. Then from there, let's come back out, angle a little bit, and then start to come in. And to finish it off, come right about here and just pop in a curve. So same thing on the other side. And curve it out. There, okay, for some detail. And of course in here, I'll just lightly put this curve, and same thing here, just indication. Okay. Then from there, we will finish the rest of his hair. Let's draw his body first. So I'm going to come right about here and give him a neck, right in the center. I'm going to curve this out. And I'm just going to slope it down a little bit, about right here. On both sides, at the width of the face. Then from there, I'm going to bring, just going to start right here and bring this down, slight angle. Okay, so now that I have that, I kind of know where his body is. I'm going to start to come right in here, and about right here, I'm going to draw a curve, opening it up, and same thing here for his neckline, and come right back here for his collar. And same thing here. So I'm going to come back in here, and the reason I want this nice and wide is because I want to put in this big heart necklace that he has. So I put this big heart right here and just connect it. There. And then we can bring this down more for his top. And about right there, I'm just going to kind of curve it out a little bit and then bring it in. Curve out and bring in. And then here, we're going to come in and just go across and down. So this part wraps around and tucks into his jeans. So before I finish that, let's come back here. We're going to draw a line coming down for his shirt. And really close to that line, I'm going to draw 3 hearts for his buttons and 1 more. And then let's come back in here. We're going to draw a straight line across for his belt, and then come find your center, come down to about right here, draw a slight angle line, and we're going to start his legs. There. Okay, so then now let's continue this for his pants, and I'll just work on this side first. To about right there. And just like all the Saja boys, we're just going to bring this down, nice and thin legs. And then about right here, because I think there's a cuff right here. So I'm going to pop this part out, and then continue his shoes. Pop them out and bring them in. There. So same thing on the other side. There. And then for some details, I'm going to come back in here for his shoes, draw a sole, curve, and then just 2 curves for laces, and same thing here. Okay, and then for his jean detail right here, come down in the center, some lines in the pockets, and his belt. Oh, you know what, I'll just put in a circle just to simplify it. And then for his sleeves, so we're going to come out. So he has these poofy sleeves. I'm going to bring it down, then I'm going to come back in here about right here, and we're just going to curve it out. So we want his hands to be about this area. So I'm just going to poof this out first. So his hands are coming down and about right here, connect it, and come down for his hands, and about right there, I'll go ahead and draw his thumb and fingers. There. And then a little cuff part right here. And so same thing on the other side. So just round this part off. And I just want to make sure I'm about the same on the other side. So about right here, we're going to start the other side. Just give myself a point. This is where we're going to poof in. About there, and connect. And then once again, just going to drag this across, and then start his fingers. There, and little cuff right here, some detail, and then I believe he has like a bracelet, so I just put in a little strap right there. From there, we have another detail in his pants. So about right here above his knee, we're going to draw a heart, and same thing over here. Okay, and then we need to finish his hair. It doesn't look right like that, right? So let's come back here, kind of in this area, and I'm just going to zigzag some strands and bring it in. So same thing about here. And some lines for detail. Now it looks complete, right? Now he looks like a romance. But that is pretty much it. Since he has so many hearts, I don't need to add it anymore. And that is my drawing here of Romance Saja from the K-pop Demon Hunters. I really hope you love how he turned out and I helped you draw him fun and easy. And if I did, please make sure. Hi Draw Cuties, Winnie here. Today we're going to draw Baby Saja from the K-pop Demon Hunters. So let's get started. To draw super cute baby Saja, let's first start by drawing his eyes. So I'm going to start right here and bring a curve down. So let's say about right here and come up because he has bigger eyes. So I'm just going to go up and then come down, kind of like I'm drawing a leaf. And then I'm going to come inside towards this edge more and draw a circle. And then at the bottom right here, we're just going to draw a curve. So I'm just going to lightly underneath that circle, draw a curve and bring it up. There, but just don't close it up. And then inside right here, we're going to put a circle for a highlight. Then inside, put in another circle and shade it in. And then we're just going to come back and thicken up the top curve just to anchor the eyes. And when you color, this is where the color of Saja's eyes is going to be. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to bring this point across, let's say about this wide, and we're going to draw the same thing. So just go up nice and high, and then come down, and then once again a circle, and then a line at the bottom, a curve I'm in, and up. And then once again a highlight and the inside. And thicken it up. There. Okay, so now that we have that, then let's give him a sweet smile. So let's say about right here in the center area. Just going to draw a curve and then go slightly upwards and cap it off. Then we need to frame his face. So I'm going to use this as my guide and come out a little bit, about right here. Same thing on the other side. And using those 2 points, I'm going to start and draw the side of his face. I'm going to bring it down, this angle line. And I'm just going to kind of imagine how low I want his face. So I'll find my center, let's say about right here. I'm just going to give myself a point so I know where I'm going. And using that, I'm going to start about right here and come in to this point right here. And same thing here, past the mouth area, and this is where his jaw. So then you bring it in. And then towards the bottom right here, kind of flatten it out a little bit for the chin. And just connect. There. Sorry, it's very delicate, right? I always feel like this is the hardest part. Okay, so I'm going to take my time here. So then let's go up a little bit more on both sides and the height of the eyes. And then we need to draw his bangs. So I'm going to cover them pretty close to his eyes so that I don't have to draw his brow. So let's see here. Let's come right here and we're going to go right over his eye, go up with one curve, then we're going to come right here, bring down one strand, and then go up, let's see, and then another one, shorter one perhaps, and then another one almost hitting his eye, then up, and then one last one that comes about right here to finish it off. There. Okay, so now I have that in, and then this is one strand. I'm going to come back in here. Actually, no, I think this strand should go up this way, sorry, and then this is going to come up there, and then whatever space you have left, finish it off. So I'm going to quickly come in here and just erase that with my whiteout pen. So I'm having all the strands really close under his, above his eye so that I don't need to draw his brow. Okay, so then from there, let's come to the side right here and we're going to draw angle line coming up. So this is the side for his hair, and then around it, about right here, we're going to draw his ear. And you can come in here with some details, and same thing here. So just drag this point across. And once again, some detail. Then we need to come back into the space right here, and right above his ear, we're going to draw one little strand. Same thing here, maybe about here, pop it out a little bit, and then we're going to pop it out. So right about here, go out, and same thing here. Then we're going to bring it up, but as we bring it up, we're not going to go very full. So it's just kind of flatten it out a little bit because he has a hat that we need to draw. So let's say about right there, bring it all the way back to here. About there. And then we need to draw his hat. So let's come back in about here and here. We're just going to draw a curve all the way back, and then we're going to go around to come about right here, and then we're just going to wobble our way all the way back to the same place on the other side, about right here. So let's go ahead, wobble, and back, just to give his hat some volume. And then right here we can come in if you like, draw in some curves, and if you like, you can even put in some strands here for his hair. Okay, so that is pretty much it for his head. So then now let's draw his body. So we're going to come right into the center area, give him a neck, then we're going to bring it out for his shoulders. Come out to the width of his face. And let's see here, right here, we're going to start to kind of roll it down for his shoulders. Then I'm going to skip a little bit of space and say about right here. This is sweater, big oversized sweater. I'm going to go about right there and just bring in slight angle line down. Just very slight. And then maybe about right there, we can kind of straighten it up a little bit. About there, and then connect. And then let's come back, give him a neckline. And then in the center, we're going to draw his collar. And there's a little curve right here. And then for his sweater, I'm going to come right here, draw in a little detail. So we're just going to draw in a curve. And then just lightly put in some lines to give his sweater some texture. And then find your center, which is about right here. We're going to come down a little bit, and I'm just going to draw a slight angle line. And then come back to the center, go to the left, go to the right, and we need to draw his shirt that kind of comes out. So about right here, we're just going to draw this rectangular shape. Triangular shape right here. So then from there, come back to your center, and we're going to split it to start his legs. So then his legs will start about right here, because we want his sweater to look nice and wide. So I'm going to work on this side first. Just going to bring down his legs. It's going to get thinner as we come down. And say about right here, I'm just going to cut it off. And I believe there's this part that kind of folds over, so I'm just going to wobble this and connect. And then for his shoes, come right here down, and then I'm going to pop this out, and then come down. He has these really thick soles. So I'm going to bring that in. Oh, actually I should have wobbled a little bit. Sorry. And I'm just going to go around. And then right here, come down with a curve, and then just 2 curves here for some lashes. Okay, so same thing on the other side. There. Okay, so we're done with that. Oh, and before I forget, I believe it's on this leg that he has his cutout right here on his pants. So then from there we need to draw his sleeves. So we're going to bring them down next to his body. Very long sleeves. So let's say about right here. We're going to start with his sweater. Bring it down. And I want his hands to be about right here, so let's bring down his sleeves a little bit more. I'm going to kind of round it off. And then there's a cuff part right here. And then we're just going to pop in these parts of his thumb and fingers. There. And then right here, you can put in some lines. And so same thing on the other side. Just going to drag these points across so that I am approximately the same height on both sides. About right there. And the cuff. And just little parts of his thumb and fingers. There. Okay, so then for some details on his sweater, there's these diamond shape pattern. So I thought it'd be a lot easier to draw it this way. So I'm just going to give myself a point here. And I'm just going to draw this big diamond. So it's coming down about right there. Just going to try to follow this. Oops. Same angle as the other side. And then I'm going to find my center and bring it down to about right there. Following the same angle. And following this same angle, just draw this diamond shape right there. Then we're going to come across. So we're going to basically put an X through this. So let's see here. Let's come across about right here. And same thing on the other side. And I'm just going to go ahead and start in the center, basically is what I'm doing. I'm going to cut this in half and go all the way down, stopping at this same area, and then bring this down, following this angle, and keep going. To about right there to create this diamond. So basically drawing this rectangle here. So same thing on this side. We're going to cut it in half. Stop right there. So hopefully this makes it easier. I'm not sure, but instead of drawing all these diamonds this way, you can just able to do it much faster. Hopefully a little bit more even. Okay, there. So now that I have that, just gonna lightly bring this in right there. And that is pretty much it, except I'm just gonna put a heart right here in the center diamond. I'm gonna sneak it in to make this my just so cute baby Saja from the K-pop Demon Hunters. I really hope you love how he turned out and I helped you draw him fun and easy. And if hi Draw So Cuties, waiting here to draw Abby from the K-pop Demon Hunters. So let's get started. To draw this very muscular Saja boy, let's first start by drawing his eyes. So I'm going to start right here and I'm just going to bring a line across, but it's going to slightly come downwards a little bit. So let's start right here and I'm going to come down a little bit and then about right here we're going to curve it down. So we're just creating this shape right here. There. And then we're going to come into the center area towards this edge a little bit more. And say about right here, I'm just going to draw two curves. And right underneath, I'm going to lightly put in a line and then go up. There. And then in this area right here, we're going to put in a highlight. And then in the center, draw a circle and shade it all in. So I'm going to come in here and just kind of fix it a little bit. And then thicken up the top line right here. There. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're just going to drag this point across, say about this wide. And we're going to go up on this side. It's a little bit easier. And about right there, we're going to go up and then go across. So just slightly upwards. Then right about here again, we're just going to draw two curves for the center. And then right underneath, just lightly draw curve and then going up. There. Okay, so then once again, highlight and the center. And just going to come in here and thicken this all up. There. So a little bit more slanty for his eyes and smaller. Okay, so then from there we need to draw his brows. So I'm going to come up and let's say about right here. And we're going to just draw a slight angle line going over his eyes. Oops, sorry. Right here, and then just come down a little bit. Then I'm going to thicken them up. And what makes them different is about right here, it kind of hooks out and then back in. So hopefully you can see that my Sharpie is kind of too thick, but this part kind of hooks up and then in. So same thing on the other side. Hopefully I'll do a better job on this side. So just a slight angle line and then downwards. Thicken it up. And then about right here where it angles down, you want to hook it up a little bit and then come down. And shade it in. There. I think I did a better job on that side. And then we need to give him a smile. So about right here in the center, he has a small mouth. So about right here, I'm just going to draw a curve and bring it up. And cap it off. Then we need to frame his face. So I'm going to use this as my guide. Come right about here. We're going to come out really close to it. Give myself a point. Same thing over here. And in this area, I'm just going to kind of draw a curve coming down. So he has higher cheekbones, longer face. So just going to a little curve right around there. And I'm going to bring this down, a little narrower. And he has a bigger chin, longer chin. So I'm just going to bring it down to say about right here. Find my center and give myself a point. From there, I'm just going to aim for that point. And then as I come right about here, we're going to just kind of straighten it up for a chin and connect. There, okay. So I need to, but his face is a little bit longer. There. Okay, and then it's gonna come in a little bit. So let's come about right here towards his brow. Bring it in a little bit more, and then from there we need to draw his, let's see here, draw his hair. So I'm just going to imagine this as an oval for his face. So in the center area, I'm just going to start about right here. I'll give myself a point, and we need to draw some strands. So I'm going to come down with a curve close to his brow. We're going to go up, and everything's just going to come right back to the center. And then on this side, there's going to be another strand towards his brow again. Maybe curve out this way and make this one a little bit bigger. And then, let's see, another strand coming out. About right there. And then one that kind of pops out about this side. And in the center, there's going to be one that sticks out. And then another strand about right here, just to balance it out. There. And then whatever space you have left, just finish off his head. And then in this area right here, I'm just going to draw a soft curve for his forehead. There. It kind of looks like a strawberry, huh? Okay, so there, I promise it's going to look better. Then from there, we need to come back into this area and say where his eyes are. I'm going to come about right here. I'm just going to draw a soft curve. And right about here, we're going to bring down an angle line about right there. And then this is going to curve in for his ear. So this is his ear, but it's being covered by his beanie. So we're going to come out and go around. And so let's do the same thing on the other side. Let's put in some details first for his ear. So same thing on the other side, but right here. Draw a curve, angle, this line down, and same thing. Kind of where his ears are. At the bottom, draw a curve. And then some ear detail. And then we're going to go out to complete his hat. So we're just going to go around, angling it up. To say about right here. There. Okay, so then at the top, let's just add another layer just to make it look fuller. So we're just going to add another curve right here at the top for his beanie. And then when you're coloring, you can put in some ridges right here on this layer. And I'm just going to put in a curve right here to finish off some of his hair. Okay, there. So we're done with his head. Sorry that took forever. Then we're going to draw his body. So we're going to come right here and I'm going to give him a very thick neck. About right there. And I'll come in here, pop this part out, and bring this curve to the center. About right there. And I'm going to pop out his sleeve, his collar. And same thing here. There. And we're going to bring it out nice and wide. So we're going to go past his face, because he has really broad shoulders. And let's see here, about there, this area where I'm going to start to round off for his arms. I'm going to come right here and draw angle line down on both sides. Then we're going to come in and about right there, we're going to start to straighten it out a little bit. To about right there. Then I'm going to bring a straight line down to about there and then split it and connect for his shirt. And before I forget, there's some buttons here, so I'll just put in 3, and then we need to go ahead and draw his pants. So I'm going to come right back here and here, put in his top of the pants, and then we're going to come down on both sides. But before we do that, let's come back to the center, and let's say about right here, we're going to add an angle line, and this is where we're going to start his legs. So let's bring, I'm going to work on this side, so I'm going to bring this down. So very thin as we come down, lower and lower. Say about right here, just kind of wobble a little bit. And I'm just going to cut it off, then bring it down for his shoes. Curve out and bring it in. So same thing on the other side. About right here, just going to wobble a little bit towards the bottom. There. And then for some details, the sole of the shoe, and the curve, and then just add 2 lines right here for the laces, just to simplify it. Okay, and then I'm going to come about right here where his knee would be, and just put in a tear right there. And then for some details on his pants pocket, and then his sleeve. So let's come back right here, and I'm going to round this part off for his very muscular arms, and about right there, I'll bring it in. So same thing on the other side, just drag a point across. And connect. So now to draw his arms, we're going to come right here, and I'm going to put a curve in. So I want his hands to be about in this area, so I'm going to come right here, curve again, and I'm going to end about right there. And this part is just going to come down for his elbow and in. Then we can just draw his hands, draw them, and his fingers. There. So same thing on the other side. Give him these big muscles. So about right there. Pop it out. This elbow. And then once again, pop this part out. Same area, about right here, for his wrist. And then bring this in. And once again, his hands. Okay. And then the last thing we need to do, let's finish this off, is, oh, maybe a line right here for his chest. And then some details on this band on his pants. If you like, you can just gonna quickly draw. It's as if you're drawing, kind of reminds me of an R, but just go across, drawing these R's. There for his pants, the band. And then of course he has these beautiful flowers. So I'll start about right here. Just kind of wobble this flower shape. And just go ahead and just fill in the space. And then also some leaves. There, something like that, and then maybe a little bit on his collar. There, and last thing I want to put is we need to put a heart somewhere because I gave all my Saja boys a heart so far, so I'll give him a little heart tattoo right here on his arm. And that is pretty much it for my drawing here of Abby from the K-pop Demon Hunters. I really hope I helped you draw him fun and easy today, and that you love how it turned out. Thanks so much for watching, and if I helped you, please make sure to give me a like and subscribe so you won't miss any new Draw So Cute videos. See you later.